Thank you. Can you all hear me properly? So I guess everybody in the room will travel a lot for personal stuff and business, but who loves traveling? Can I get a raise of hands? Who loves corporate traveling? Right, so that's the issue that I'm going to talk about today. Like I came from Delhi today and I spent 1 hour in security check-in today, right? And that's what the corporate travel means today, that all of us are leaders in one organization or the other, and for us travel is a necessity rather than just a privilege, right? So what's been happening these days is that as we want to grow our businesses, a lot of us are traveling more and more and more and more, right? And because of lack of proper tools, our employees are suffering. They don't want to travel for business and they have to be forced a few times. So I'm going to tell a story about this small little story, which is a actual story from one of our customers who implemented Happay, and this is what we heard from them. So Jay is a leader like you in an organization, and he's got a new project. And his employee Arun, he calls him that I need you to go to London, and there is a new project for consultancy to a particular company. And Arun's usually when you hear that you're going to London or US, you're really excited. But this guy was not excited, and the manager sensed that this guy is not excited. So he asked him, "Why are you not excited?" And Arun remembered that my last trip didn't go so well, and I had to suffer because of my corporate policies, this and that. So then things got a little more interesting. So our manager said, "Why don't you want to travel?" And he gets into a little more details. So he had a really bad booking experience the last time, right? Last time he wanted to travel, he didn't get approvals till the last day because of paperwork, and it reached the manager late. Usually in international travel, there are 2, 3, 5 level of approvals in every organization. And by the time it got approved, the fares increased. Nowadays, you must see yourself how fast the fare increased, right? So, and then hotels on an average have increased their fares in Mumbai by 100%, right? This hotel I stayed 2 years back, it was half the price. Right? Today it's double the price. So you can't get a hotel now in policy, and most of the employees don't know where to stay. How do I find a hotel to stay? And I'm facing this problem with my team who travel to Mumbai, because we don't find a place to stay in BKC. Nothing less than 10K, right? Where policy initially said, okay, 7K is there's nothing in 7K. So that's what employees are facing right now, and you have to travel for business, right? I have to do my quota as a sales rep, so I need to travel. I booked a fare here today. Let's say it was 16K, but my policy says nothing more than 10K can be approved, right? So this is the experience that he had. And then what happened was, to get his reimbursement, he had to follow up multiple times, tons of emails. Finance said, "No, I'll not approve your claim because this is out of policy," right? While manager says, "Okay, it's approved," even then finance doesn't approve, right? And this happened with all of us, right? With your team also, you'd get cases where you approve, but finance comes back to you saying, "This is not approved, give me exceptional approval, get a VP approval, get a CEO approval," and all that, right? So employees get really stressed because of situation like this. And in my last organization where I worked, I had a similar scenario of myself, and it was a really big pain point for me when I had to travel for business internationally or in India. So when the employee came back also, like, there was a feedback that he had to spend 1 day collecting all the receipts, and then a lot of receipts for thermal papers, everything got diminished. Like when I took it out from my pocket due to sweat, I couldn't see anything. Finance again rejected my bill, right? He also gave a feedback that my reimbursement took 2 months because of continuous approvals. Your approvals take long time, then it goes to the ERP, then the payment happens, and that too I didn't get full money back, right? My company didn't have a corporate card program, so I had to spend my own money doing it. So this is what employees go through daily. And there was a survey done by Travelport and Booking.com, which said believe that technology plays a really key role in controlling health risks during the trip, which means duty of care, right? And also, 42% business travelers and corporate travel managers think booking a trip is more challenging than actually going to the trip. this is what most of the companies are telling me, most of the employees are telling me, that when I have to plan a trip, I have to look at the least cost flight, the least cost hotel. Because of saving cost, I'll come at 7 in the morning while my meeting is at 2 in the afternoon, right? And it's not a good employee experience. So how do we kind of solve this? So I think the way to solve this is that don't have too much of policy which is predefined, but rather have a tool which gives you the best cost saving and the best available option on the go, right? So basically think out of the box. That's what Happay solves for you today. So it's a smart travel and expense booking tool. You can file your expenses, you can book your corporate travel here. Everything is built in the tool itself. You have a policy, we can build it, and we can consult you. We're like the McKinsey's of T&E, right? So we'll come and tell you if you have a 6K hotel policy and you want 5-star hotels in BKC, you'll not find it. We'll come and tell you that this is not implementable. We'll get you the best rate in BKC as a compulsory booking, but the employee cannot choose anything beyond that, right? So this is a tool where you can just open your mobile app, choose where you're going, book your trip. It'll go for approval to your manager if there is any exception, or if you want approvals for every trip. You'll go there. If there is a repricing of ticket, if the fares have changed, it'll again show to the manager. So everything is done quickly. So within 5 minutes, your ticket is booked, and you can move towards the trip. Everything that you see on Make My Trip Yatra, for example, right now on a personal booking is here in the corporate side of things, right? So that's what a lot of millennials now and Gen Z expect from a company, that everything that you do in your personal life is there available on your corporate tool. So here we can show the best available trip. I'm not sure, I think this is a little unclear, but anything which is policy will be controlled at the booking level. So the employee cannot proceed with choosing a higher fare or something which is not entitled to. And see, I think the issues with bills right now is most of the bills are thermal or e-bills. So we have an OCR tool. On top of it, we apply Google Vision and IBM Watson. So there's a best-in-class OCR which not only scans the bill and uploads the receipt into Happay. It will create an expense line item, and it will also put an algorithm where it will check if there's anything duplicate in the receipt, for example, invoice number, and also anything which is out of policy, for example, an alcohol bill. So usually traditional tools will look for data entry in the system, but this tool will actually scan receipt to receipt and put an IBM algorithm and detect all these things. So it's an AI-enabled technology. So this means that anything which is out of policy will anyways be not submitted, right? And sometimes employees make a mistake of submitting duplicate bills. Sometimes they forgot to mention that I had a beer in the airport, right? And sometimes it happens unconsciously also. So we can control that on the go. And one thing which I think you must have heard from NITI Aayog and RBI is that cash is going away from India overall, and especially from the business corporate side of things. Cash will go away in the next 2-3 years, right? If you consult with, let's say, NITI Aayog, and I spoke to the last NITI Aayog chairman, and he was telling me that we want to get rid of ATMs in the next 5 to 6 years. There will be no ATMs in India. So cash in India is completely going away. And traditionally what happened was, if you issue a credit card, it will come to your feed in T plus 2 days. Now technology has enabled solutions which have real-time integration with the tool itself. That means the employee does not have to spend his personal money or use cash and deal with change and submitting back money to the company. Everything is digitally there, and the money can be requested on a Impress wallet kind of a way within the tool. So employee has it all the time, and then you can come and say, these are my expenses. Anything which is left, the employee's company can take it out as well. Plus, I think it's also important for us to signify a duty of care. So for example, in Happay, when you book a trip, we'll tell you if on that particular day if there is a thread there, right? Or the flight that you're booking is on an average delayed by this much, right? That's really become essential for corporate tool. And also things like carbon footprint, which is becoming essential for companies from an environment standpoint. And obviously, we can tell you that this flight may be delayed by this much based on historical algorithm. So all those things with insurance and all those things. Also, if you let's say travel outside India, we can tell you that your travel is more than 3 months or more than 1.5 months, and you would require a work visa there, right? So you can't travel like this. And yeah, I think Happay kind of does all the grunt work for you. The employer does not have to stress much on the trip, the travel booking, the approvals, the workflows, the policy enforcement, everything is done by Happay. So employee just has to come and say submit button, all the expenses will be there, and that's it. His work is done. It goes to finance. Finance can see what are the policy exceptions and it's just approved. After that, it will go to your ERP for integration. It's a dual-way integration. It talks to SAP, Oracle, or whatever accounting system you have, and then at the end of it, you have a fully reconciled report, right? So I'll not talk too much about these things, but I think I've already spoken about most of the things. But one of the main point, like I spoke about, is something like this, where the receipt is scanned and duplication is automatically detected based on the receipt, right? So traditionally, finance team have reported they lose around 6% on frauds and duplicate bills from a total travel and expense budget. So we implemented this solution to control that cost. So we'll straight away get that 6% saving from that fraud or duplicate bills that are submitted, and usually it misses human eyes, right? So how many receipts will a finance guy scan in a day? So again, I think the idea is to transform that reimbursement process from 2 months to 5 days maximum, right? The expense report can be submitted in the same day. We've seen even 2 days of payment cycle in some companies which have faster, bank cycle automation. But 5 days is maximum that we will see, and this is the transformation that you should look into. Digital transformation on the expense management side, on the employee side, and I think this is a great opportunity to do it right now because business travel is going to increase in India, and we've already surpassed 2023 forecast. From January to June, we've done close to $35 billion worth of travel, and out of that 30% is corporate travel in India. So you can imagine the rate that our corporate travel is growing, and you'll see more and more travel happening, and this is also going to become more expensive with the aviation fuel hike and other costs that are related. So we are predicting that this cost will go higher and higher, and I think it's time that all of us think about digital transformation on the travel and expense management side, so that we are better prepared to control costs when it really goes out of our hand, right? So again, this is this 10% of what we can do. I'm happy to talk to all of you. I'm sitting over there, and if you have any questions, please meet our team at the Happay booth. Thank you. Happy to answer any questions. Yes, ma'am.
2 questions. Could you share some statistics on Happay customers and Happy customers?
Yes.
And the second, how are you feeding back some of the insights from the data you collect to corporates about inflation?
Sure. So I think Happay, just to give you a background, Happay is now part of 𝐶RED, right? So 𝐶RED is a parent company, and we have 7,000 customers now. We were traditionally an India-based company, right, focusing only on travel and expense, but now we are equally a fintech, so we cover everything from spend management perspective, not only travel expense but also vendor payments, and we also give credit line to companies to pay their vendors automatically from bank transfer or via card. So we want to cover the entire spend management portfolio. Our retention rate is around 98%, right? So I think that can give you some insights into the performance, and NPS is around close to, we rank from 0 to 10, so it's around 8.5. So I think most of our companies are happy. We have various channels where we sell through. So like HDFC is a channel which sells our Sodexo-like cards, right? Then we sell some part of travel expense, and then the fintech side of things directly. So that business. And sorry, could you repeat your second question, ma'am? I just forgot about it. The insights
from the data that you've collected, because
yeah.
policies also need an upgrade from time to time. So how do you help your corporate?
Yeah, so we actually, like I said, we are like McKinsey's of T&E. So when we engage with customers, we don't want to just implement their policy, right? That's always a suggestion when you transition from an offline model to an online model. Like I gave this example, right? This customer had a, I think 6K limit in Mumbai, and their office is in BKC, and nobody can stay in that amount in BKC. So what we did is, and this was we're doing with a lot of very large companies also, helping them understand that right now the ideal way to implement this policy is to choose the lowest rate, right? Not have a cap, because it will disrupt business. We can say, okay, you can travel some other day and all those things, right, based on manager's approval. But a lot of nitty-gritty things like TADA policy, for example, is a big issue where we consult companies how to handle it, right? Some companies even have a TADA policy where they start the trip when you land in a place. Like I'm from Mumbai and my TADA starts in Mumbai, right? Which is not the right way to do it. You should start from Delhi. So we understand policies very well. Our team is quite experienced. Most of the team, the consulting team, have been here for 6-7 years. So we consult companies how to take that policy online and how to implement the best policy for them, saving money, but also worrying about business. Right? So that's how we work. Thank you.
Any other questions we have on this side? I have a niche question.
Yes.
What about the freelancers? Do they get any app for payment for Suli?
Payment for?
Freelancers, payment for Suli for us.
Yeah.
How will they do that?
I'll give it to 𝐿.
Make something. not about 𝐿. I'm talking about other freelancers. I'm so sorry. Himanshu, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
And please put your hands together for him.